Hello everybody. Today we're going to learn how to format worksheets and workbooks. The first thing that we're going to get into is the worksheet. If you see here the tab, we're in worksheet number 1. If we right click, we'll get all the options that we have. And right now, what I would like to do is to put a color pattern to it. Let's make it green so that people opening this workbook know that this is the sheet that they need to focus in. After this, let's think around a little bit with the format as we've done already. We've changed the colors here, but let's say that we want to make it more visible and more clear for people opening it. There's many things we can do to adjust the width of the rows and the columns. The first thing we can do is if we select all these columns just by clicking and dragging, we can make them all the same width, for instance. Or if we wanted to make them all adjust to the biggest entry, for instance, once they're here, we just double click on the edge and it adjusts it automatically so that it fits perfectly. Because if we do a little bit shorter here, you see that we don't get the full word, or even like the numbers will create this symbol, which means that there's content here, but you cannot fully see it because the column width is not perfect. So let's just go back and do 99 pixels, for instance. Let's do 100, but it's difficult to do it like this, so we can just adjust the column width to whatever we want to do. And let's make 14, for instance. Then we can do the same thing for rows. Rows normally are in the same width because we want to adjust the text so that it's easier to read. But right now, let's say I want to have some margin here to the left. What we can do is insert another row, and to insert, you normally click the one that's going to be to the right or the one that's going to be on the bottom here, and you insert. Let's say that I don't like how it looks. For some reason, I want to go back. You can easily delete the row by selecting the full row, right click, and delete. There's also faster commands to do this, which are Control plus and Control minus once you have selected the whole row or the whole column. The next thing that I wanted to teach you is in page layout, this menu, right? You have the menus on the top. Page layout has everything that has to do with the format of the page. Alignment, the margins, the size. But let's say that we can want to conform to a custom theme, for instance, facet, organic, and just by being on top of it, you can see how it would look like. So let's say that in this case, the one that convinces me the most is this one. It's very easy to read and I like it. So just click on it and you have it. The next thing you can do is adjust the margins, normal, wide, or narrow. But if you want the full options here, you go to page setup to the right of it and you have the whole thing. If you want to print it portrait or if you want it landscape, which is easier to see, you select the paper size. If you want margins, you can customize the margins to the highest extent here with the full capacity of selecting the numbers. And the next thing we want to do here is select a header or footer. You can see here that you have many options. You can select different ones for odd and even pages. You can select a different one for the first page. But what you can do here is customize a header. Do you want it in the left of the page? Do you want it in the center or in the right? And what we can do here is unit sales, and we just click OK and we have it. And in the footer, we want nothing, let's say. And then if you click print preview, you have it. We selected landscape instead of portrait, and we have here the header that we have selected and the format that we have applied.